Hi, welcome to my channel, Frugal Living, where I offer simple tips, tricks, and resources for saving money. Today I'm going to share with you homeschool on a budget. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. Wendy, actually for you it's not morning. Okay, I've got my coffee, so I'm in California, so for me, it's actually like in the morning. We just finished breakfast. For you, you guys probably finished lunch
We
or you're
just
about.
finished lunch. That's right.
Yes.
Just finished lunch.
So thank you so much for joining me today. You are a wonderful resource for homeschooling. You have a new YouTube channel, and you've been talking a lot about that. And that's a topic that a lot of people are interested in right now, because with everything that's going on, people either feel like schools are too unsafe for me to even send my kids, or they feel like there's too much chaos that I don't even know what you're doing to teach my kids. So a lot of people are deciding to do homeschool. I know that's something that I'm personally going to be endeavoring in, independent study, not so much the direct homeschooling, but she will be at home. So what I kind of wanted to do is just jump right in there. I like to just jump in. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been a homeschooling mom?
Well, I have been a homeschooling mom since my husband will tell you 9 years. Our oldest is 9, and he'll say 9 years. I'm like, so he came out of the womb and we were just ready to homeschool. No, but I've been homeschooling since he was little. Honestly, it's never really been a how do I say? It's never really been a like a oh, we're gonna start when he's in kindergarten or whatever the situation is, because the truth of the matter is we 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 weren't going to do that, but we'll get into that. um I started homeschooling, I want to say officially about 6 years ago, because that's when we registered him. So I want to say about 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to teaching your kids, you're kind of always teaching them. So it's kind of like, okay, even if they're not officially in school, they're always learning. So I
That's
see,
right.
I'm with your husband on that. He was learning something out of the
Just
womb.
just came out the womb.
um, like I said earlier, a lot of us are starting the homeschooling journey, and you kind of briefly touched on it. But
Yeah.
how did you get started in it?
Well, for me, um, I've always known that I wanted to homeschool, and my husband has always been against it. So I'm very much, if we're not aligned, then it's not going to happen. So from when our child was young enough to be home and not need to be in school, I've just always taught him. So once he learned one thing, I just move on to the next and to the next and to the next. And by the time our child was ready to go to school, he's 5, he's ready to go. It's like, but he's reading at like a first grade level, and he's doing all these things way above his grade. So we either have the option of putting a 5-year-old in a classroom with a bunch of 7-year-olds, or leaving him, pulling him back, and now you've got this rowdy boy who knows everything already, so he's not going to pay attention. So for
Yeah.
us, so for us, we just decided, he was like, okay, babe, just this one year, because I know what you're doing. Just this one year, you can school him. So I was like, okay. So we did it. And one year, and we always have taken it year by year by year. And now he's the one that's advocating for it. So I wouldn't say it was like this is when it just always was. It just always was.
Yeah, that's really great that you were able to do that, because I know my sister stayed home with her youngest son, and he was like that. He was like basically the tutor in kindergarten to all the kids. And he was like, I don't like school. It's boring because I have to read for all the kids. And I'm getting tired of that. He was literally saying that. I'm like, you're 5 years old.
So
He
cute.
was like, school's boring. I'm tired of helping these kids. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh my
So
God.
that's a blessing that you were able to do that, because
Such a blessing.
there's a lot of that way you can kind of modify the program to your son, as opposed to trying to make him fit into a box that he really doesn't fit into.
Yes. And
Um,
I wanted to say that Don't get me wrong. I was home with him, but I was also working full time as well because I'm a nurse. So I worked
Wow.
312. Well, I was a nurse. I'm not working right now, but I was a nurse back then. And I worked 3 12-hour shifts, and the other 4 days a week, I homeschooled him. So we just made it work. But I didn't become a stay at home mom until just recently. So
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay. And that's a good point because a lot of people think you have to be a stay-at-home mom for your child to homeschool. And I'm finding out you're actually the second homeschooling mom I've talked to that's actually not a stay-at-home
Yeah.
mom. Well, you are now, but didn't originally start as
Start
that
that.
because
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, I work. She's like, I just work around it. And I
You
said,
just
oh
make it
my
work.
goodness. So that actually is still an option if you are a working parent.
Yeah.
For new homeschooling parents, how do you create a schedule? Because that's something I've been thinking of myself personally, just even with my toddler. My
Yeah.
teenager, she kind of like with her school, they will have kind of things set out for her because it's independent study. But for those of us who are starting out with younger children and we need that schedule, how do we kind of start that?
Yeah. See, it's different for each family. So, for example, when I started out and I was working compared to what my schedule looks like now, it's two completely different schedules. So, what I would suggest is to really look at everything that you need to accomplish in a day. Like, what do you need to do? Do you need to work? Do you need, you need to eat? Do you need to take care of housework? What do you need to accomplish in a day? How much time do you have to accomplish those things? And create a schedule that's simple because you don't want to make it over complex, because if it's over complex, it's not going to work. You're not going to do it. So create something that is simple, that you know what the flow is and your child knows what the flow is. And that really helps. But for different age groups, it's going to be different things. So, for example, for a teenager who's doing independent studies, she can do her own schedule and you can do your own schedule. But for a toddler who needs their mama, you want to make sure that you get your toddler out as early as possible, because Lord knows they've got to get all that energy out, so you want to work your schedule in a way that you can be present when you need to be present. So getting up in the morning before your children is a must for every single type of schedule. Because Lord knows you need time away from them. So that's my number one recommendation. And then having a morning routine, have that, they know, hey, breakfast, getting dressed, doing this, and just having a natural flow. For in our home, we do utilize technology to a certain point. And so while they're on technology, that's mommy's time to work and get some stuff done, So you just got to be creative and utilize and make sure that you don't overcomplicate it. You just can't accomplish everything. You just can't accomplish everything in a day. So what can you accomplish in a day? What can be accomplished on a weekly basis? What can be accomplished on a monthly basis? Everything doesn't have to be done in one single day. So I hope that helps. I know it's not very specific, but I hope it allows room for people to be, to mold it and make it their own, because everyone's schedule is going to look the same. You can't take my schedule and put it in your life. And we just have to make it work for us.
Oh, wow. I love that. I mean, I struggle with the getting up early. That's something that is my worst thing.
It's like
Normally she's at the door and that's how we get up. But especially since we've been working from home and at home so much, I haven't been getting up as early.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something I need to do. But I like the flexibility of the schedule you gave, because sometimes we try to go on, I know this is what I do, go on Pinterest and try to imitate that. And it's like, okay, you're not doing what they said on this blog.
It's 9 o'clock. We got to do this at 9 o'clock.
Like, you're not obeying this. It's like, good or whatever. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, let's get back into the rest of the interview. I haven't bought a book. I don't know how to start out. do you recommend going through a certain company where, you know, they have all the materials, or getting your own? What do you think is best?
All right. Now, I have been doing this for 6 years. So understand when I tell you this, it's the truth. It is the truth because I know I going through being a homeschool mom for this long, I've heard this advice and I just whoosh, that's not the one I was looking for. So I just moved on to the next and stressed myself out. So I want you to listen to me. Just go to the library. I know. It's not what people want to hear. Just go to the library. Start simple. Start small. It's going to take a while to find what works for your family. My number one always will be tried and true. Go to the library, read to your children, find some good books, read to them. The Good and the Beautiful has a book list that is for free. Go on there. You do a reading assessment, you test your child's reading assessment, see where they land, and pick some books above the level and some books underneath the level so that's super easy for them to digest, and then some books at level. Grab those books from the library for free. Read to your child, because there is nothing more underrated than reading to your child. There is so much education. There's when it comes to language arts, sentence structure, when it comes to spelling, how words are spelled, when they're looking at the words and reading it themselves or you reading it to them, reading comprehension. It's just really underrated, reading aloud to your child. So that is my number one recommendation. Now, if you're like me, Lord knows you've heard it a bunch of times, but it wasn't the answer that you're looking for. That's not a curriculum. So I have a video where I go more in depth, but if we're just starting out, bare minimum, reading, writing, and language arts. And for me in my home, Bible. Those are the 4 foundations. Now, free or frugal, reading, the library, writing, I would say write with your child. If you're going to teach them the letters, sit in front of them, write a letter A and have them write a letter A or trace over your letter A. That's how you teach writing. You just have them do it with you. And now if they're a little bit older, you can have them do copy work and copy sentences from books, copy poetry. You tell them a story, like you're dictating something to them and you have them write it out. And that works on spelling, that works on vocabulary, that works on, that works on storytelling and whatever. Like it's just so inexpensive and so good for them. Math, the Khan Academy has it's free math website where you can learn all about math. And like I said, there's more, but start off with those 3. You'll be just fine.
Oh, that's awesome. And I'll go ahead and link in the description the video that you were just referring to, so people can get a chance to kind of look more in depth in the curriculum that you use. But that's a great way to start. I know that's something that I did a lot with my daughter, especially our summer activity was to see how many libraries we could hit.
Yes.
And people, because it was something at the time I was single. So it was kind of like, okay, what's free that I can do that she would actually enjoy? Yeah. And the library has so many resources, as far as activities to encourage reading. So I love that. That's something that I taught last year. I was a teacher and I was teaching, and that's something that I harped a lot. I was like, just have them read. That will improve all their skills. And it's like, just have your child read a book.
I'm telling you, like
nothing else. So
it's so underrated. So underrated.
Yes, I'm with you on that. So you mentioned Khan Academy. Are there any other free resources that come to mind that you can actually refer parents to?
The other one, definitely The Good and the Beautiful. The Good and the Beautiful does level 1 through level 5 language arts, their entire curriculum.
Oh, wow.
Including the books, including the card. They have like little phonics cards, everything for free on their website in a PDF form. So you will have to find a way to print it out. And sometimes it's a lot cheaper to just buy it from them, but maybe you don't want to print out everything and you can just, use the screen and write it down. So there's different ways to be creative and really utilize that free resource in a free way, and so for language arts, definitely that. What else for free, right? Oh, they also have a free science like marine biology PDF as well that you can do with your child. But science, the library, okay? I've made the best science experiments from those science experiment books in the library. Like, I love them. So I definitely recommend that.
Libraries are just opening up too. I've been seeing them now.
So good. So good. We need them. We need them. But yeah, so that definitely, as well as one of the big things that is, it's about $15 on Amazon, so it's not free, but it is comprehensive, is the complete curriculum guide. And it has all the grades, and it's language arts, math, reading, test prep, all that stuff. For those that I need a curriculum, definitely Amazon, pick up the complete curriculum guide. That's it. That's amazing. You'll be good.
And I'll link that too, because the thing about it is it's also low cost. So
yes,
I mean, there is going to be, I think most parents should know, hopefully, that there will be some investment in this. Yeah. It's just, how can I find the most affordable ways to do that? I mean, you're still going to invest something, but I figure, like I was talking to somebody recently, another interview I did, we were talking about, well, you're saving a lot of money because you're not having to do all the back to school shopping.
There's that.
There you go. You can reallocate those funds to getting some of those curriculum books and the different items like that. But I'm going to link in the description also. Was it The Good and the Beautiful?
The Good and the Beautiful website.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll link that. And then also, if you can send me the link to the curriculum book, so I make sure I pick up the right one and put that in the description too, so people can have an opportunity to check those out as well.
100%.
Are there any final thoughts that you have? Because you gave a lot of good tips, information, practical tips that I really, really love. I know I say that on every interview, but that's the truth.
That's one thing that, for me, it has to be practical. I have to be able to apply it. That's just how my brain works. So the flowery and the fluffy doesn't work for me. But encouragement. You got this. Okay. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie to you. There are going to be days that you're going to be like, nah, COVID ain't that bad. There's going to be days that you're going to want to send your kids to school. I understand. But those days are nothing compared to the days where you're going to be like, did he just read that sentence by himself? Did she just read that sentence by herself? I did that. There is nothing, the rewards far outweigh the difficulty. And just like working out, nothing that's worth it comes easy. So I promise it will be worth it. And you got this. And we're here. YouTube is here. We're here for you. And Facebook is here. There are so many communities. Find a community to encourage you when things get tough, to provide you with those practical tips. Hey, he keeps saying the S with an R sound. I don't know what to do. There's plenty of help out there. So don't be afraid to reach out. A lot of these channels, a lot of these homeschool moms, a lot of these communities are there to help you. So don't be afraid to reach out. Find community.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I love that, because I'm starting to grow in, through the YouTube community. It's a new group of people that I'm getting a chance to meet, like you and so many others. And I think homeschooling, I have to grow in getting my local homeschooling community, because I hope, like you, that I can later with my little one go to homeschooling her as well, because she's just drinking up learning new things. So I would love that opportunity. She's really receptive to me teaching her. So I think she'd be really great for homeschooling. So thank you so much for joining us today and giving all of the wonderful tips that you did.
Thank you so much for having me. I loved it, and I hope to be an encouragement for you guys.
I hope you enjoyed the interview I had with Wendy. She gave awesome tips, tricks, and resources for homeschooling on a budget. It doesn't have to be some super expensive thing to start out on your homeschooling journey. She made us realize that this is something you can actually do, just, starting out small. And I'm going to link in the description all the ways that you can contact her. And I'm also going to link her homeschooling channel, which has a lot of awesome free homeschooling resources on her YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And last but certainly not least, happy savings!